I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha Ha Kodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Salute and honors to you, elders of our elders, brethren, fellow believers. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Peace to you. So, I went into this video. I want to do this video because I wanted to go a little bit further into what vocab Malone and the apologists, street apologists, how they all somehow made up this terminology that Frank S. Cherry and William Crowdy, I think that's his name, Crowdy or something like that. They are the ones responsible for bringing William S. Crowdy, right? They're the ones that's responsible for bringing black Hebrew Israelism, right? They always got a root of, these things and how they make it up, and it makes it more of a fallacious type deal instead of original understanding, comprehending, or let me say to the original works, belief. But they don't do that. They just go on Wikipedia, which Wikipedia puts anything in there as well. So you can't trust fully Wikipedia or certain internet sources, right? And let's say Frank Cherry and William S. Crowdy did have a vision, and then we woke up to the fact that we were Israelites. Did not the Lord give men visions? But anyway, we're going to go and dispel this horrible lie, or to say that it goes back before Frank Cherry and William S. Crowdy. So anyway, here's Lord's willing, I'll leave the link in the description box. It's from the Library of Congress, right? In the 1700s, it's called the Printable Timelines, 1760, 1761. And mind you, there was always wars going on, right? America's been at many wars for years, right? But I just want to bring this up. They said that William S. Crowdy and Frank Cherry brought us Hebrew Israelism during the Civil War, when they was actually born in the, I believe, 1870, William Crowdy or Frank Cherry. 1875, Frank Cherry was born. Okay. Now, William Saunders was born a little bit earlier, so you can make the argument that he brought it before, during the time of the Civil War. But when we go in here to the Library of Congress, this book is titled, let me go back and find this book. Again, Lord's will, I'll leave the link in the description box. See if I can find this book, what is actually titled. So you got to bear with me a second. It's a lot of information. It's titled, what is this called? It says Original History of Ancient America, founded upon the ruins of antiquity, the identity of the Aborigines with the people of Tyrus and Israel, right? Let's see when this book was published, when it was published, right around the time of 1843, right? 1843. So this was long before Frank Cherry. Let me say William S. Crowdy was born in 1847. So he wasn't even born yet when this book came out, right? So let's see what it says. I'm actually going to get to the point first. Or actually, I'm going to read a little bit of this. This is called This is to give the notice of the original history of the ancient America, and it goes on to talk about the legal copyright and everything, so I'm not going to read that. Let me go on. It's like 400 and something pages in this book. So I'm just going to skim through this book a little bit, and there's no way I could read all of this book at once, obviously. So we're going to go to page 27 to start it off, if it pulls up. Okay, so we're going to go down to page 27, wherever it is. Okay, right here. It says here, and it's going to be short, Lord's will, the Lord's will. Introduction for the preface of the author's historical work upon the life of Tecumseh, who was when I looked it up, a Native American. Now, maybe other brothers went into this before, I don't know. I'm just going over it. Name to be used for South or Central America, the foundation or fundamental era of the historians of America, essential opposition in character. The rules of argument illustrate the theory, a sufficient identity of the North to prove the distinct people, the Aborigines wrongfully named Indians by Columbus, the cause of the era and its effects, which Indians, I believe, mean savages, right? In the prefatory remarks to the forthcoming works upon the chieftain Tecumseh, the following language is used, and we avail ourselves of the privilege of extracting from our own storehouses materials from the comment of the historical campaign. Right? The courteous reader of tracing the fate of Tecumseh. Right? So we're going to go on to the next page. This is where the page gets to the point. Page 28. It says to observe the strong analogy between the religious sentiments of the chief of the forest and those of the ancient Hebrews. The language as uttered by Tecumseh is not written by the pen of fiction merely to uphold a theory of the brain, but gathered from the archives of a people's history to support theory and apparent truth. The present writer will not yield to any man in the firm belief that the Aborigines of North America, right, and to the ancient Israelites are identical, of North America, but not North America only, and the ancient Israelites are identical unless controverted by the stem of authority and superior historical deductions. It says, I'm going to try to get through this. We therefore have formed an original theory in reference to the natives of the North and of the South and Central America together, the newly discovered ruined cities in and around Guatemala, and by the theory have separated into two districts, distinct races of people, the Aborigines of the Western Hemisphere. This is a little bit choppy to read. The lately recovered ruins, cities and temples in the Central America, and which of ancient record is to be found, which have shuttered the claim of the acknowledged history to Adams, and unto that claim is again united by the firmly established theory, education herself must pose Pause. I'm going to get to the point. It says suspicion has asserted that all the native of the continent of Columbus might probably have been originally of Hebrew extraction. The exception has been made, and no doubt, and trending, right? So there you have it. And this was in the 1840s, before William S. Crowdy was ever born. So it's well known. And they also said that if you keep reading, and it's all well known, it's even in movies, that the children of Israel that came on the slave ships were also was considered of the wandering Jews. So this is clear. Now you had others who were force converted in the, who you see today, and some of them just converted, but we were the originally children of Israel, and then they took on, other nations have took on, we know the people that took on the identity, and then they pushed that identity, and put themselves there. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 10 and 5. Casting down imagination. Well, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh, to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringeth into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua. Now, they also went into this book, because I'll be all day, I was reading a lot of it. They also went in there, is talking about the forced conversion of Christianity, and how through Christianity, the Native Americans was forced into converting. Let me get another scripture, then I'll go back and just read a little bit more. Luke 8:17. For nothing is in secret. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Right? As all these things are coming abroad, we're seeing the truth, and we're breaking down all these lies and these falsehoods and these false images and everything else that's false about Edom in the society. Anyway, let's read a little more. Ancient America. The architecture, however, of the ruins of Copan and Palenque, Uxmal, and their time-honored associates has furnished a Rosetta Stone to the aid of the new translation of the hieroglyphical history of now ancient America. And if our theory is true, not only have the Israelites walked through the land where the Son bestowed this last mile, but another nation in which was retained the primitive language of the Diluvian world. It goes on. There's a whole lot on here, and this is something that they wrote. It says, "My Lord and my God has given forth its mission." Eloquence even in the Western Hemisphere, and there are the sainted ashes of that apostle that may yet repose. So you kind of get the point. So all through here, they're pretty much going through the fact that the Israelites, I'm just reading through a lot of this. This is interesting. They're talking about Mexican America. So what about you black-only Israelites too, man? That claim that the Native Americans aren't Israelites, right? And understand that some of them look like Moab, because, hey, man, they laid with other nations. Remember, we were scattered amongst all nations. So let's make that clear. Let's go to Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing but revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. right? So this William S. Crowley and Frank Cherry, let's say that did happen, is still debunked because it was already well known before the Civil War. In fact, they knew even before then, right? They had the history and the records. But when you look at here, the Library of Congress pretty much tells it, the children of Israel, about the Native Americans.